So I read a post recently on the New York City Instagram account about storms in New York, and it said something like there's something romantic about getting caught in a rainstorm in the middle of New York. It will likely appear spontaneously and disperse just the same, but not before encouraging you to pause, take cover, and embrace a fleeting stillness in a city known for constantly being in motion. And reading this, I remembered a story, something that happened to me when I was in New York a couple of years ago. It was the summer of 2016, and I was interning in New York. Around 4:30 p.m. on a Wednesday in the office, everyone's phone buzzed. It was a thunderstorm alert. This was surprising because it had been a sunny afternoon, and suddenly it was grey outside. Some people started packing up to leave, but I continued to stay for another hour or so. While it was grey, it was still calm, no immediate sign of a storm. I was relieved, for I was not carrying an umbrella. I walked out of the office around quarter to 6, headed towards the Pret on 23rd and 6th to grab a sandwich before going back to my place uptown. The usual evening rush in midtown streets, the sky grey on one side, but sunny on the other, as if trying to make up its mind whether it should rain or not. Some people rushing towards the subway as if they knew there was a storm coming. I, the new intern in New York, didn't think much of it. The sky was only half grey, and the wind, though present, unusual for July in Manhattan, was gentle and cooling. I suddenly had the idea of walking downtown towards NYU and just exploring. Like many who are new to the city, I had taken an immense liking to the seemingly mundane but extraordinarily thrilling activity of walking Manhattan streets and just exploring. So I decided to do that. Screw the impending storm. The world is my oyster. Well, New York certainly makes every 20-year-old feel like that. And with that, I started to walk down. A couple minutes later, lightning in the skies. I hesitated. What if there is a storm coming? I don't want to be stuck. I don't even have an umbrella. I could still see some sunlight through the clouds, and as I turned back, I could still see the Empire State Building in all its glory. Screw it, I walked on. It wasn't long before it started to pour heavily, not just your average light rain, but torrential downpour with winds that erupted out of nowhere. I instantly took shelter under the ceiling of a shop. Many others joined me, and many followed in adjacent shops and cafes. I looked up at the sky. Most of it was grey, but as I looked across and turned to my left, the deceptive sun was still shining in a tiny part of the sky. I have since spent a few more months in New York in winter and in fall, and I've realized that no matter the season, the sun is always shining in New York City. You just have to look around and it's there, as if telling you it's worth it. This wind, this rain, this storm you find yourself in, it's worth it, for your dreams are right there. You just have to power through the storm and wait for the clouds to part.